Good morning and welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 128. It is a Sunday. The Sunday hoodie is on. Go Bears. Little late today. I slept in, probably because of my terrible sleep I got, as I mentioned yesterday. So yesterday I talked about and I saw Ken comment about the old 3 a.m. wake up call from the chirping smoke alarms. So to prevent that from happening again here, because it seems like when one smoke alarm starts beeping, it's like it's not the next day. It's not maybe not 2 days later. Maybe it's like 6 days later when you start to forget that I woke up at 3 a.m. and had to change out the battery of the smoke alarm. So a week later, it gets you when you least expect it at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. So my wife said, let's just change them all out. So I did make a run to Target yesterday to get some 9-volt batteries, and they are expensive. Do you know how much 9-volt batteries cost? So I ended up buying 8 just to have a few extra, and we have how many smoke? So our bedroom smoke alarm went out a few weeks ago, and then the hallway went out 2 nights ago or whatever it was, Friday night. So that was 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I think we have 8 or no 9. There's one in the basement. So 2 in the basement. So 9 total smoke alarms. So I ended up yesterday changing out 7 of the 9 because 2 have been changed out in the last couple weeks. So that was part of my Saturday. So I went to Target, and I actually went to Target Friday, and I don't think I had a lot of topics to talk about yesterday. I think I skipped over my Target run. So Target Football Prism is out, and I had conference calls Friday. I had stuff going on at work, so I didn't have the opportunity to make any runs on Friday outside of a quick one to my nearest Target at lunch. And so I went at lunch, and it had been stocked. So he stocked early at the Target closest to me. There was a wall of Topps Update, like for the second time. There was a wall of Topps Update like 3 weeks ago, and another wall and a bunch of football rookies and stars, which I opened, I don't know, 3 weeks ago. So I've got way too much going on right now with trades, shipping, listing. So I didn't, if I could find something that I wanted, I would have bought, but I've done the Topps Update. I've done the rookies and stars. I don't need to rip anything for football today. So I just passed on everything. And I think there were some Panini Contenders blasters for baseball. But I bought 2 or 3 of those and got my fix. So I passed. So one of the guys that I talk with on Twitter lives in my area. He has some connections to guys that wait in line, and so through him, it's kind of like, so he's got a guy, I've got a guy, so we just kind of exchange, messages back and forth. Like here's what I saw today at Target Junction. So he sent me a message late morning Friday and said, he stocked, or have you gone out? Have you gone out? And I said, no, I may make a run at lunch, but I've just got too much going on today. So when I went, I gave him an update. I said, Junction Road was fully stocked, a bunch of update and rookies and stars. That was it. So he came back and said, yeah, so-and-so told me that he stocked that first thing Friday morning. And then he messaged me later in the afternoon. He had gone to Fitchburg, which is another town with a Target that's nearby. That's the one that I hit up the least out of the 3 that are in my area. So he had gone there and I guess the vendor had been there for a couple hours, and there was a line for Prism. There was a one blaster limit per person, and the vendor actually handed them out to each person in line for Prism football. So they went out. There was a line, so they basically sold out instantly. So that was my only target run. So when I went to get batteries yesterday, there was still a bunch of Topps Update in the section, and they had the checkout lane open where the cards are. So I didn't really go when that's closed. I can just walk right up to the cards, but there's people there, so I just kind of glanced over. I saw all the Topps Update. I don't know if the football was still there, but there was a ton of Topps Updates still. But bought my batteries and went about my way. So that was my retail update for the week. So yesterday I had a bunch of eBay stuff, a few trades that I got out today. Fortunately, my sales haven't been crazy the last few days, and it's been weird. And I've mentioned this in the past that it seems like there's a lull for a week, and then all of a sudden it's just I'm overwhelmed for a week, and I was overwhelmed catching up. Basically all of this past week up until Friday, and then Friday the sales just bottomed. Still good. But not where they have been, and they go in runs like that. And Saturday, yesterday was a a decent sales day, but low for a below average for a weekend, for a Saturday. So going to be interesting today. Usually I'll have several sales over from the time I go to bed, which I go to bed fairly early. And I understand when I go to bed, say 10:30. It's only 8:30 on the West Coast. So I'll still have sales trickle in after I go to bed. So I'll wake up in the morning and I'll have 7-8 transactions sales from the overnight hours. So I only had, I think, 2 or 3 last night. And I've only had, since I've been up, I did sleep in. So I've been up an hour. I think I've only made one sale, like $1. So it's been kind of a slow weekend. I did list. So if you're into the basketball, if you're looking for singles for the NBA Hoops premium stock, here's what they look like. This is Kevin Porter Jr. And speaking of Kevin Porter, I had somebody reach out to me about this specific card, and they asked me, what did they ask me? It was a really, they asked me, does it ship in a top loader? And that's fair, free shipping, PWE. I understand the concern. I said, yes, penny sleeve, top loader, with cardboard protection. Because he said, is it in a top loader? If so, I'm going to buy it. So I explained how it's going to be shipped. And then his response, okay, I'll think about it. So I think it was a kid. I think it was a teenager, a kid, because that's typically, I don't want to discriminate or stereotype, but typically when I get responses like that, it's from a younger person. So I thought that was funny. So I list a bunch of those premium stocks at auction. Some of the higher end have Zion and Ja sold right away. I still do have the tribute Zion and Ja. I extended some offers on some that are in my eBay store for buy it now prices. I listed a whole bunch of singles at auction, 5-day auction last night. So they will end on Thursday. And I listed some Friday night at 5-day auctions. So they'll end Wednesday night. I'm going to list a bunch more today, probably this afternoon at 7-day auctions to hit Sunday, next Sunday. And then I think I have some Bowman Draft first edition singles that I never ended up listing. None of them are Bowman firsts. So I think I'm just going to throw these on 99-cent auctions, probably 7-day. To capture Sunday. Jenny's with us. Good morning, Jenny. Just kind of random topics today. Nothing specific. I'm still waiting on the mail is super slow, which is expected. So I don't know if I talked about this yesterday or not. I don't think I did, but I bought 2 flat rate boxes of Cubs cards from my guy David down in Elk Grove Village. He shipped out last Saturday. Now Elk Grove Village is only 2 hours from me, maybe 2 hours and 15 minutes. Just down the couple interstates. So 2 hour and 15-minute drive. And this is funny. And this is usually where this is the area, the far west suburbs of Chicago is where I've had the most issues with delayed mail. I had a lot of problems in June with delayed mail that sat in the facilities in the Chicago suburbs. So he shipped out Saturday. The first of 2 boxes arrived, I think, Wednesday, which is usually and I understand it's the holidays, so there's going to be a delay as is. But normally I think, I bought a couple boxes from him a month ago. So in October, they were shipped on Saturday. Boom. I got them on Monday. Just because it's basically from this facility to this facility to my post office. So there's not much movement between facilities. So shipped Saturday, first box arrives on Wednesday. And I thought, well, this is with the influx of mail, holidays, Cyber Monday, Black Friday. It'll probably, the second box will show up tomorrow, Thursday. I'm also expecting my stamps from Carl, and I think he sent them out Monday. He's in Florida, so I expect a little longer transit. And they have not arrived yet. Usually they get here, it's like a 3-day transit. So Monday I would get them on Thursday. Still waiting for those. So I still haven't got the box from David. Never showed up Thursday. Check the tracking number, still showing in transit. And here we are. It's gonna roll into Monday. So 8 days to go, from one facility to the next. Ricardo, what's up? Brookfield, the Chicago distribution facility, horrible. It is. I've had all of it. I think I can't say all, but just anecdotally, almost all of my issues in transit occur in those facilities in the Chicago suburbs. It's crazy. Jenny says our post office is suited to deliver and averages 400 packages daily. This week was 3,000 plus. Holy cow. Oh my goodness. Holy cow. That is insane. And it's the perfect storm because we have COVID. So more people are shopping online. They're not going to go out to the malls, to Targets and Walmarts and all the retail. They're going to shop online. There's already people shopping online just for their goods. My neighbor across the street, my home office window faces the street and their house. They have FedEx and UPS every single day. And usually it's like a stack of boxes, and I can see the boxes, some Costco, Amazon. It's crazy. So I think they have 2 little kids. So I think they do all of their shopping online. So you add the already increased amount of package deliveries from these retail outlets that people, don't want to go out and shop. Add on the Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales. I can totally believe 400 to 3,000 plus, but still when you read it, when you see those numbers, that's crazy. That is insane. That is just crazy. Ricardo says, I have given multiple refunds because the mail just took too long and let them keep it after they receive it. Yeah, fortunately, I have not run into many issues. June was the last time I had some significant delays. I had shipped a poster. That was the main one that got held up in Chicago for a month. The buyer was super cool. I opened 2 USPS lost mail claims that they closed them out without giving me any type of answers. And it finally just shook loose and shipped. And he received it, I think, 5 weeks after paying, and he was super cool about it. I offered refunds and he declined every time and said, I get it. So that was, I mean, the perfect eBay buyer because usually you don't see that. I've had a couple reach out PWE shipments within the last couple weeks, and I said, give it a couple more days. They have not reached out either way. And this is going on a week now, so I think they probably arrived. But we'll see. So I have had to give a few refunds here and there, but nothing more than average that I would say. Jenny says it's been wild. Can't hire more delivery drivers, training and background checks. Christmas will be over. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I will say I've been fortunate on the selling side that I haven't had, outside of two people that reached out last week, I haven't had any issues. And I think when they reached out, it had only been, a few days anyway. I'm seeing it right now more on the buying side where, I have shipments that have been stuck in the mail. And I've been collecting the wrestling magazines. I don't think I have any. But those most of the time ship media mail, which technically I don't think, excuse me. I don't think Jenny can probably answer this. I don't think you can ship I don't think you're supposed to ship magazines media mail because they have advertisements. I think that's one of the it's only for like educational and in books, like books. So I don't think technically you're supposed to ship magazines media mail, but like every magazine I get shipped to me is sent media mail, and those are longer transit anyway. So when we have an influx of first class parcels, media mail is going to get shoved to the side. So I've had to wait a long time for some of my magazine shipments to arrive. Jenny says packages will be pushed before PWE, and Amazon packages will push before first class packages. Yeah, and it's crazy. I've had Sunday mail deliveries. Last week I received a few mail days from USPS, which I think I've seen mail trucks run on Sundays, but I think those were Amazon deliveries, and I'm not sure on that. But I did actually receive mail last Sunday from USPS. Any ads should not be media. Media can be opened and marked for postage due. Yeah. Fortunately none of mine have been inspected that are delivered to me and potentially ruined. But I do know, because every once in a while I'll sell a book. Books don't sell. And my local post office they are to the T by the book. And if priority flat rate mailboxes, they cannot like be protruding, they'll, if they see that, they will say, nope, that is outside of the dimensions of the box. Like if a box inside the priority flat rate box is like protruding, you try to tape it over. If it does not fit within the dimensions of the box, they kick you to the curb. They're really bad on PWE. When I first opened my post office box at this post office, I'm like, well, I'll just, instead of leaving my PWEs in my mailbox outside my house, I'll just drop them off when I go pick up my mail from the PO box. And the first day I had like 3 returned to me for postage due. But if I ship them from my mailbox, I have no issues, and I have had 0 postage due when I ship them out from my mailbox. And we're talking 5,000 plus PWE shipments. And the only time I was nipped with the postage due return to sender was when I dropped them off at my local post office, who are by the book to the T. And I mentioned that because media mail, when somebody wants to ship something media mail, they go down the list. So when they ask me, when I ship a book and they ask me, I'm like, it's a book. Well, what kind of book? I'm like, it's It by Stephen King. It's a novel. There's nothing else in it. It's a Stephen King book. That's it. So yeah, they are. Media mail is the only mail that can be legally open to verify it's correctly used. So yeah, so and that's interesting how it can go. Now I had in my old, speaking of mail and how it's crazy. So in my previous city that I lived in Illinois, a friend of mine he also shipped a lot, and if he would send a bubble mailer in the city that I lived in was strict at the desk. So he would go in and I think bubble mailers at this point were like $1.50. And then you could send them basically like the non-machinable or whatever, and it was like 88 cents. And so this was when you had to pay for this was like before tracking. I think tracking was an option for like an extra 60 cents. So this was before tracking. So it didn't matter if it went non-machinable in a bubble mailer or not. It was a little different. And we're talking 15 years. This is like 2005. So he would take it to our local post office in our city, and they would charge him the full retail of a bubble mailer. So at this time, say $1.50. But he was a teacher, in like a neighboring city. And he would go at like lunch or after school to that particular post office, and they would only charge him the rate of 88 cents. And so he, saved 75 cents, 70, 60 cents, whatever it was per package. And this is before tracking. So you didn't have to worry about, tracking issues. It was shipped the same way, whether he was charged $1.50 or 88 cents. So it all depends. And when people say, hey, I got charged a postage due, and this is how I sent it, just a top loader and a small piece of cardboard, I always say, if you have the option, I know not everybody has the option of multiple post offices or mailbox. If you left it in your mailbox, take it to a blue post office box, or take it to a post office. Or if you have a nearby just try a different, because every post office and every mail carrier can be different in how they interpret the rules. And I feel that once it gets through like the initial drop off point, if it's not caught initially or at the end user, like once it's in transit, I feel that they're not really inspecting it closely. I don't know that, but that's kind of how I feel. It's, when my stuff it's either at the point of shipping out or once it's at the end delivery. And I feel that the shipping point is the main factor, that as long as it gets through that drop off point, and once they go to process it, then you're good. So I don't know if that's accurate or not. So that's all I had for today. Just going to do some more eBay shipping. I've got some trades to work on, and I'll probably list some more 99-cent auctions today. So that's kind of what's on the plan. Have some football going. Oh, and going to put the Christmas tree up. I was going to put the Christmas tree up in October because the COVID and being stuck at home. I thought get into the holiday season a little early, and then November came and it's like, oh, we'll just wait till Thanksgiving weekend. That's like the traditional. When I grew up, it was always like Black Friday or Saturday of the Thanksgiving weekend. That's when we put up growing up. And that's kind of how my wife and I have done. Usually Saturday or Sunday of Thanksgiving weekend, we'll put the tree up. And then I don't know if we had stuff going on, but it was just kind of like, And then my wife wanted to wash the skirt under the tree. So we did that yesterday. So today is the day, which I think this is probably the latest I've put a tree up in some time, December 6th. So we're going to put the tree up. So that's on today's agenda. So Jenny says biggest issues are with people using the self kiosks in bigger cities. They use incorrect on Bubble a lot. And I can totally see that. And I kind of, Zach's with us. What's up, Zach? We're talking mail, talking postage. So I can totally see that, because I take for granted how engulfed I am with shipping. And so I just take for granted that a lot of people don't ship stuff, specifically packages or even cards. I mean, through the project, the 1 Million Cubs project, I've had more than a dozen people like reach out, like, I've never shipped cards before. I found these in the basement, or I've been out of the hobby. How do I ship cards? And I just kind of take for granted that it's second nature. I have a freaking shelf full of every size bubble mailer. Within reach, I can grab a small bubble mailer, a larger bubble mailer. I have boxes underneath me. I mean, I just have access to shipping supplies, because these, I get through eBay, through my eBay store. So I just take for granted that not everybody has a shelf full of bubble mailers and boxes and has shipped before, and knows how to do it. So I can totally see people that are unfamiliar with shipping, just not doing it the correct way. So yeah, I can totally see that. Zach says, I was uniformed on shipping items prior to uninformed on shipping items prior to this meeting form of trading. I learned from Bo and asking others. So yeah. And Ricardo, thanks for shipping Len Casper over. I'm totally bummed by that. Totally bummed by missing Len Casper. Their supplies a lot, don't know about too, like padded flat rate. You mainly have to order online, but save lots on cards. Yeah, Jenny is the person that taught me how to do PayPal shipping. I was dropping off packages at the post office and paying the retail markup. And I think I learned that a few months into my project. So that was a huge savings. And I'm taking the plunge. I have a printer next to me. I print labels out on paper, and I have scissors, and I cut the labels, and I use tape. So I have all of these other expenses, and I'm finally taking the plunge to get it using a thermal label printer. And it's something that folks on Twitter have told me about. Like, I can't believe you're not using a thermal printer for 3 years, and I'm finally taking the plunge. It's on my Christmas wish list. So my wife and I have, instead of just surprising each other with gifts, we just send each other links. So we know we know exactly what each other wants. So I asked Twitter a few nights ago what the best thermal printers are. Got some great advice. Found one that I liked on Amazon and sent the link to my wife, and hopefully it's under the tree in a few weeks. So finally taking the plunge on a thermal printer. But I don't ship a ton through bubble mailers. I would say maybe 80% of what I do is PWE. Though I do all my 99 out of 100 trades are in a bubble mailer, so go through PayPal shipping. But through eBay, it's probably 80 to 85% is PWE. Ricardo asks, has your PayPal shipping stopped populating for you from eBay? No, it has not. Same exact process as far as PayPal and eBay. So yeah, no change there. Thermal printer is awesome. Have it and love it. Saves so much time. That's great to hear. Yeah, because I'm buying ink for my printer, paper, which I go through paper anyway, because I when I do PWEs, I'll put a card in a top loader and a piece of cardboard, and then I wrap it in a piece of paper. So I go through copy paper pretty quickly just by doing that. But I buy in bulk from Costco. Lasts me quite a while. But the ink, the ink is expensive. Um, tape's not, but it add up in going through that. Um, oh, you label your box. That's a great idea. I have a label maker. Where is it? That I bought at Costco. Just one of these. It has it's kind of a smaller ribbon. So what I do is I label, like in my eBay store. Is it going to focus? So like I label my baseball by year and by product. So that's 2017. I don't have as much 2017 stuff, but like 2018, and then within the year, there's Chrome Sapphire. I can easily access the cards in my eBay store. So that's what I use, the Brother label printer, another Costco buy. Zach says, hasn't stepped inside a post office in years before returning to the hobby. I know if I were to ship at the volumes bow, I could do it more economically. Now I just go there when I have trades. Actually find that part fun too. Excited to give someone something they want. Absolutely. I've had to hand jam buyers' info into PayPal shipping now since they transitioned to the new eBay system. My labels have images I pull from Google. Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna have some fun playing with that. And I was only looking at the thermal from a PayPal label point of view, but yeah, I guess I can do some other stuff with it too. So yeah, that'll be fun. So your PayPal shipping since they transitioned. So now, yeah, I haven't had any change whatsoever. I don't know if that's a managed payment system thing for you. I've been under managed payments since July, like the third week of July, and I haven't had any changes in the PayPal shipping. I think there's maybe they did change it up a little bit, but I think it's like one extra click when I go to ship something. But nothing has changed on my end as far as the PayPal shipping through eBay. So interesting. Hopefully that doesn't change, because I like it the way things move for me now. And I'm reluctant to change. I was reluctant to change on managed payments. And now I love it. Jenny hasn't noticed any changes with eBay. Work has me so swamped. My eBay has like 0 listings. I'm a supervisor now. Nice. Congratulations. That's awesome. Obviously a little more responsibility comes more work, less fun. Yeah. So awesome. So I have nothing else to add. I appreciate it. Love the chat. Great stuff today. I came downstairs with nothing on my mind, and we had a fun little conversation here this morning. So awesome. I appreciate it. If you want to check out those listings, 99centcards.com, eBay store, 1millioncubs.com, the website. I'm going to work on that blog post tonight, about my Cubs mail day. It's a fun one. I just need to get through and start the writing process on that. So I'm going to have a lot of fun. The mail day, if you missed it, I received a mail day from the 2013 Cubs season ticket holder set of archives cards. And it opened up, like, the sender, you're just going to have to read it. Because there's way more to the story, and I don't want to spoil it. I want you to read it, because I learned he sent the cards, and then as we were chatting after I received them, I was commenting on them, and he opened a door that I had no idea. It was a really cool learning of the process of that set and how it came about. So I'll share that in the blog, hopefully get that published tonight. So I want to work on that this afternoon. So that'll be at 1millioncubs.com. Again, thanks, Ricardo, Ricardo, Zach, and Jenny. Thanks so much for the chats. Have a great Sunday, and I'll be back tomorrow morning. Earlier tomorrow, I'll be back at my normal time in the 7:15 time. So thanks again.